after Adepticon COVID and other things that tried to kill us the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
And we are going to talk about some gaming news, updates, experiences at Adepticon, impressions, thoughts. And Chris, quit messing with your mic, man. You're ruining my intro.
Sorry.
And we'll talk about the topic that Dawn came up with yesterday.
Yeah.
And which is?
Gaming go-tos.
Gaming go-tos. And we'll explain that.
Yep.
And much more in 3, 2, 1. That's not the right intro.
Just
because
kidding.
Somebody screwed it all up.
April Fool's a little late.
It's been a day.
Big Duke 6 Eagle Thrust. Put on Sidewar Op. Sing it loud. Into the Romeo Fox. Shall we dance?
You are listening to the SITREP podcast, your source for everything related to historical wargaming. Whether you are looking for the latest wargaming news, reviews, painting tutorials, or playthroughs, you will hear about it right here. So grab your favorite beverage or brush and let's hit it.
Yeah.
So I just decided we need to make a whole new show intro. I mean, this one's getting a little long in the tooth anyways, so still a good one. But welcome, everybody.
Hey.
I apologize for being a whole
almost
45 minutes late to the show. We had technology gremlins. Nothing we wanted to talk to each other.
Nargles. I'm telling you, it's Nargles.
And we literally changed nothing
Chris
except one mic. We, as you notice, we don't have podcast mics anymore. We now have a shotgun mic right here. So we're trying to get away from wires and things. So eventually we won't have headsets anymore. We'll just have like earbuds or something. But this gives us a cleaner picture, if you will. Right.
So you don't like this?
No, it's great for, you know what? It's great for podcasting, but we're trying to elevate a little bit. And because, you know, I'm going to do some painting and hobbying, mics just get in the way.
Yeah.
And the lapel mics are great for, you know, on location shoots, but for in studio, why not bring it up to the next level? So,
no, that's true.
Yeah.
Without Marty here, I need googly eyes.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, you failed.
So, yeah.
He's got my googly eyes, that's why.
Chris, how the hell have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah. What you got going on in the world of hobbies, sir?
Well, it's been a busy couple weeks. Well, at Adepticon, I took a lot of painting classes, and I decided to put that to use and try it out. In our D&D group, we started a new campaign. We finished out, and so for the new campaign, I was told I was not allowed to be a dwarf fighter because I was just rocking everybody's world. So I chose to be a dwarf cleric, and because of loot, I found a cute little mini, and so people are always asking, you know, who are you? What do you look like? So here's a bigger version of it.
Wow!
Oh, there you go. That's cool.
Pull back a little bit, Chris. You're a little fuzzy. There you go.
Articulating flail.
Yeah.
Did
you print that yourself?
Yeah.
Nice.
Very cool.
And on the Age of Sigmar side, I am building and magnetizing Neferata.
Oh, is that your monster that you got?
That is my monster that I finally got at the show. Yep.
Very cool.
It'd be nice if you know, GW actually made the minis that they keep showing. You know how many they say, temporarily out of stock. Well, aren't you the people that own the fucking manufacturing? Pardon my language. It shouldn't be temporarily out of stock for more than, I don't know, a few days at a time.
Right.
You know, not months.
That is true. That is very true.
So, magnetizing that so I can actually play. There's 3 different generals that come in the box. And they've all got some really cool skills, so I want to be able to jump between them.
Very cool. Hey, so you heard that I guess GW is killing off a couple factions in Age of Sigmar in 4th edition?
Yep. They are actually they're moving to Legends, which I don't know what Legends are.
That's where all the retired shit goes that they're not going to support anymore.
Yep.
They give it a fancy. You don't feel left out if,
Right.
that's your faction of choice.
But it's one of those things that people do who are used to playing the third edition. They can still play third edition.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
You
Because
can play what you really want, honestly. Let's be truthful.
Yep.
Yeah. I
So.
mean, and if you've already got all the rules down and everything, sometimes you want to go to something. Oh, wait, was that a segue? Sometimes you want to just go to a game that and maybe that's an edition that
That's true.
There you
that
go.
is true. I mean, really, like you were saying, truthfully, the only difference ends up being if you are a person who is heavily committed to wanting to play in like a formal tournament setup.
Yeah.
And I have to believe that's not the majority of people that play.
Yeah.
I think it's a subset of people that play. The other people that are just kind of more casual gamers that even if you game regularly, but you're gaming either at, your local game store or at your house, with friends that come over or whatever, you can do whatever you want.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Yeah. And not only that, to extend on what Don was saying, I know that they're still going to release battle scrolls for some of the characters or whatever, and they're going to be acceptable until 2025, and then at that point they won't be allowed in competition or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean, it only affects people who play competition, or follow tournament rules. But if you're doing a casual game, who cares?
But isn't it nice that they've given people, advance notice that if you are that tournament player, you now are on the clock to get set up in a new army and get it painted and learned and readied so that you can participate in tournaments in 2025.
Well, here's the thing though. So many of the models are, you might lose a faction, but that doesn't mean that many cannot be used in a different army. Like if they got rid of Soulblight Gravelords, which is what I play, most of my army can be played with Flesh Eater Courts or Bone Reapers or Night Haunts because they're all death armies.
Right.
That's fair.
So I don't think you can do everything. And some things, I mean, it's the same mini, but it's called something else. My Vargeist, which are big bat-looking Mothman type dudes, they're called Vargeist in Soulblight, but Crypt Flayers in Flesh Eater Courts, and they've got different skills and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else you've been working on, Chris, other than painting your dudes?
No, but I've been painting.
Which I'm very proud of you, by the way.
And I've been painting more than Murdy.
Wow. You painted more than me. I haven't painted anything since Adepticon. And
Don, have I painted more than you?
Yes, you have painted more than me.
No. Marty would be painting. And he would still have more minis done than me, but he's having issues with his nerves and he's having trouble holding a paintbrush.
He just needs to get whacked upside the head.
Hey, Meddy. Good morning.
Hey. Well,
Chris,
hey, we know him.
Hey.
Yeah.
What? You should also drag your dudes over to one-page rules. Yeah, one-page rules was at Adepticon.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I
never heard of it.
Sharing the booth with a certain paintbrush company.
Oh.
Hence why we didn't go over there.
Interesting. Yes.
Opus? Oh no, the fabulous Kickstarter that you backed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. I feel like I'm trashing these guys, and and they put out a product and they probably, did the best they could. I'm going to do a bristle test. Do you they
get what you pay for.
You know what? I probably did. I mean, reasonably. Do you you know what the bristle test is, Chris? If somebody claims it's real Kolinsky sable or wolf bristles, as they, light it on fire. sacrifice one of the. If you see drops of goo, it's synthetic, right?
But
Or
you know what?
at all. If it burns like hair, then it's real hair. Then you'd have to DNA test it to see what kind of hair it is. But
now we're just going to crazy town. We're not DNA testing paintbrushes.
But you know what? If they throw some paint, I used them to paint the British guy. I did the commander for the Waterloo set, and it did fine. I guess what really got me is that they were touting Kolinsky sables and this and that and rosewood handles, and they hyped it up. Well, I bit into the hype. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
But you know what? The thing I learned from the experts over at Adepticon, and when I say experts, when you've got Aaron Lovejoy and Vince Fitrelli and all them giving you classes, you can believe what they're saying. And sables are good for some things, and synthetics are good for something else.
Yeah, I'm not bashing synthetics. Yeah. I'm just the hype that was in this Kickstarter to what I felt I got. Maybe I'm being hypercritical. I'm probably being a little over hypercritical, but
you had higher expectations than what was filled.
You've used those. You haven't cracked out the Artisophis brushes.
Well, you don't pull out Billy Blue for everything.
Right? Thank you, Chris. Hey, Chris, by the way, didn't you buy some Artisophis?
I did, and I have not used them either.
Is there a special club now?
No, it's just it's
like that 68 Mustang that you only bring out one day a year in beautiful weather to just get the oil through the engine.
Yeah, my my painting skills are improving, but they're not ready for that.
I have decided,
if you could see his eyes, they're crazy eyes.
So for tomorrow's video content, I'm going to speed paint some of the Napoleonic set. I'm going to take like the French Guard or the British, and I'm going to just speed paint through those. After that video is done, for the next one, I'm probably going to take like a commander, some special figure for either Warhammer or Blood and Plunder, something, and paint it up and, try and give it the Duncan Rhodes, all these guys. We watched Duncan Rhodes last night paint up a Warhammer dude, Lion, and it was the longest video I think he's ever made, and it's freaking amazing. Yeah. But the steps he goes through
is a lot.
Yeah, so
a lot.
I think I'm ready to push myself. I need to warm up to it. So I will do some speed painting, then I'll do some individual miniatures, and then I'll get to a showpiece miniature. Yeah. I'm really tempted to try my hand at Golden Demon next year. Yeah. At least try. I'm not saying I'm going to submit, but see where I get after getting some painting down on a rail, and see if I feel comfortable enough submitting to Golden Demon.
Yeah, I mean, Marty, he submitted last year, and he knew he wasn't going to win anything, but he was excited that they actually photographed. So that means he actually made it through the first round.
That's true. Go. That's true. And like you never know unless
you never know until you try.
Yep.
So.
To answer Marty's question, do you guys use Vassal or tabletop sim as well? I have dabbled in both formats. Jim actually uses, when you see him do his like Panzer Leader, Panzer Blitz, all that stuff. There goes our guard dog.
Amazon probably just dropped something.
Yeah, probably. He uses Excel. So. Or she's sitting on the stairs watching neighbors walk by. Anyway.
I need to shut the door.
Yeah. So. Oh, Merida. All right. So anyway, I think Vassal and Tabletop Sim are great tools. And it's a great way to get games in on the table when you can't do it in person. I mean, and if you look at Tabletop Sim, you can do any game. I mean, they got 40K on there, Age of Sigmar, Spectre Miniatures, Skirmish Sangin. Any tabletop miniatures game you can think of pretty much has a module that somebody has built, and you can play on the tabletop virtually. So it's an actually good thing. Dawn.
Yeah.
What have you done hobby gaming wise?
Well, hobby, not a whole heck of a lot, but gaming wise, I have been kind of ramping up into more of my card based things, and sadly, I tried so hard to resist Star Wars Unlimited, and I'm not saying I'm hooked yet because we haven't even played it yet because we're
gonna play it live on camera tonight.
We both had COVID after Adepticon, but I talked to 2 guys that were playing in one of the restaurants while we were at Adepticon.
Chris.
Yeah, quit messing with the mic, man.
Sorry.
I going back to Gen Con, I played a full demo experience at Gen Con, and it's Star Wars. I wanted to love it. Like we love Star Wars.
I remember you talking about it.
Princess Leia on today. And it was kind of meh. I was underwhelmed. I didn't care for the way a couple of the mechanics went. And I don't know. I just kind of walked away from it for like the first time ever where Dawn was not like, oh, take my money. Like this is going to be a problem. And so I have resisted it up until this point. So I saw these guys playing it at one of the restaurants, and I went up and intruded and I said, what do you guys think? And they loved it and like were really raving about it. And so then I took the opportunity to say, I tried it at Gen Con and I wasn't loving it. And the one guy real quick put his hand up and he said, he's like, the decks that they brought there for you to try, he's like, are not even at the level of what you get in the starter sets. And he's like, at least try the starter decks because they are a little better equipped and give you a total different gameplay experience. And I was like, well, crap. So our local game store had the 2-player starter, which I think is a really cool thing that they even offer for that game rather than having to go out and purchase individual decks right away. So I got the 2-player starter and 1 box of boosters. I have opened all of them, looked at things. I've made some notes. I'm going to do a separate video for the Other Realms side to kind of dig into what you get, what's in there, and how things look. But we need to play it, and we'll kind of see. I truly need another card game like a hole in my damn head because
it's just like another miniatures
I'm already
game.
fully vested. Oh yeah, well I don't know. I start looking at how often these card games. So I do Magic and I do Lorcana, both of which are on every 3-month releases, and so it's just money. I mean, yes, you can always print more, but the only thing I have to say Magic has going for it right now that is helpful on the finance side is that they've tangented into all of these little separate universes within, and they've hit some IPs that I don't care. So I did not feel compelled to have to purchase some things recently. So that's been a little bit of a break, but
it's weird that you're saying, oh, thank the Lord that it's something I don't like.
It's bad. It's really bad. I mean, because otherwise it's like, even for the neurotic collector in me, I didn't feel compelled to have to get them anyway. Right. So I was like, I'll take the win. And then that justifies putting the money into something else that I don't need.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the other thing I have been doing regularly is I picked up a copy of the OG Pandemic game because we have Pandemic.
You've been living it?
Yeah, well, that too. But we have Fall of Rome version,
great game, by the way.
We love.
Great game.
But that one really is meant to be played with other people because even though some of what you're doing is cooperative in nature because you don't want the game to take over everything, you are competing against the other people. Where the old school Pandemic game, it's fully cooperative and you are meant to try to not lose to disease taking over everything. So I've been playing it solo. And though it's not intended, it's not written on the box to be a 1-player at all. It's very easy to play at least 2 of the characters in the game. And since it's fully cooperative, you're not minimizing anything with the gaming experience.
Right.
And I've really enjoyed it. It doesn't take super long. Drives up anxiety nicely while you're playing, as things kind of start to get crazy. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I died.
Yeah, almost. Pretty much.
I actually, the week after Adepticon, I had all these grand plans. I want to work on a new website for the podcast to bring both sides together under the SITREP, and got sick and
he got
it was bad.
Really sick.
So, and then this week I recovered, and then I ended up having to cover night shifts in the ER because I'm just that desperate for nurses right now. So nothing like the CEO of a hospital having to work in the ER to, it's a small hospital. It's a small rural hospital, critical access, meaning no more than 25 beds. And we're so remote in the area that it's very hard to recruit nurses. So,
so I really both of them, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, it's been a challenge to get hobbying going. However, I have been working on something behind the scenes. I have been speaking to the president of the Historical Miniature Gaming Society of the East Coast, the big one, and we have been invited to cover Historicon.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to work out details with him, but he actually reached out to us and said, I saw your coverage at Adepticon. Would you guys consider coming to Historicon and doing coverage here? So
Tuffy in the house. And yes, he did. He's on the floor, Tuffy.
Yeah. So that's what I've been working on. I do have a couple things I want to work on the historical side. Obviously, I'd like the Waterloo stuff. I'll work on tomorrow. If you notice, I'm wearing my Confederate uniform. Here's my stripes and all that. It's pullover because this weekend is an anniversary of a big Civil War battle. And I'm going to share a screen. And it's this one. And I'm going to share it. It's the Battle of Shiloh.
There you go.
The Battle of Shiloh took place April 6th and 7th. And it was a big, nasty battle. And we live 2 hours from the battlefield. If I had been in my right mind, we could have broadcasted from Shiloh.
Lord, with all the technology,
with all the technology,
we had this
what
morning,
could possibly
thank
go
God
wrong?
We didn't try to
So,
do that.
there is that, which is kind of apropos. If my brother's still on, I see his name. He mentioned on something about the one-page rules. Him and I could tell stories of back in the day of making lead figures, for Civil War battles and playing on the basement floor at our old house in Aurora. So.
Yeah, we got video. Didn't they use video of you guys making the miniatures in the Patriot?
No.
Wait, hey.
Anywho.
Goodness.
Chris?
Yep. Number one, huh?
Number one, yeah.
Anyway, so the big battle of Shiloh is happening. So, there's a company out there that makes great miniatures that are easy to put together, don't have to paint, and get them right on the battlefield.
Short name. It's like a combination of names.
World of Fun.
That? Yeah.
Whoa, fun.
Yep.
So, you know what? I figured for video content, why not get that stuff out on the table? You can actually get some games going because people do like to watch games happen.
Yeah.
Other than that, I did receive some more expansion sets for Legion Imperialis that have been out of stock. So I was able to get my hands on the data cards and a couple other things. And then I do plan on painting up. I got 2 starter sets for In Country. It's the modern skirmish battles from Chris, help me.
Spotted Studios.
I had 3 different studio names in my head, and then they have a new sci-fi version called Blackout, and I got their miniatures. I got their starter set for that. So
those might be the time to break out the Artis Opus.
Yes. So. Well, but the nice thing about the Blackout series, like the one set, they're in spacesuits, so you can paint them white and add some color, and
that's true. It'd be pretty easy.
To get them on the table, and Dawn would play that because it's sci-fi-ish silliness. So
I was really looking at Lunar from
Black Site Studio.
Black Site, yeah.
That table looked really cool, didn't it?
It always does. It just.
Yeah, we talked to them on Saturday, I believe it was, right? Mm-hmm. And I was half tempted to ask him what table he didn't want to take home with him this year.
Not like you had room in the car.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we had
room going home because you guys took the booth. Yeah. So, but yeah. So that's that. News. The dog is going nuts.
She is going nuts.
News-wise,
a
Kickstarter coming out soon right? Do you remember which one? Port Royale.
Yes, Port Royale is dropping in April. I have not seen a hard date on when, but it April is what they had said.
Let me see if I
So
can bring
that
anything
should
up
be
from them.
soon, and that looks like it's going to be pretty awesome. I really like the idea of the smaller scale game that you can do quickly.
Yeah. Let me get rid of some of these pages here. I don't know why that came up. I don't know why that came up. That's weird. Stuff's just popping up in the Facebook land.
Nargles. See?
Nargles.
That's
Is that
the
what you
theme
call
of
it?
that's the theme of today's show.
Okay. So Port Royale. We've talked about this on our post wrap up, but basically Port Royale is going to be a skirmish game based in Port Royale, Jamaica, which was a big pirate haven back in the day, and it is also setting for
Setting
yo ho
Setting
yo
for-
ho.
Pirates, littering
literally the Pirates of the
I
Caribbean.
could-
The Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yep.
The town is Port Royale.
Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
know what we should do. We should
Make
all
Jack
get the
Sparrow.
game,
Yes.
and then we should go to Port Royale to play it.
might be a
like
little hard, Chris, since it's underwater.
Oh, okay.
Okay, close enough. Closest port.
So we can go to
So
Jamaica
we charter a boat.
and we dive in and play underwater.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh, there we go. So we're not using acrylics for that one. We'd have to use enamels, I think.
Oh, once you seal them, they're fine. Yeah. So there is that, and then Oxtun Panza is out as well.
Is that War Games?
Warlord.
Warlord.
Warlord. Yeah, it's a war game. That's what I meant. Yeah.
It's
Yes.
a war game. You're right,
Yeah.
Chris. Congratulations. You did good.
Didn't they have something else too, though?
Vanguard.
Yes. That was the one I was trying to remember. And that's what's going to Kickstarter.
That's the one that's going to Kickstarter in May.
Yeah. Although they did say when they say Kickstarter, it's almost more of
a pre-order. He fully admitted it was
platform.
pre-order.
It's not, like the game is fleshed out and ready. It's not.
Right. No, they fully admitted that they're using it as a pre-order for this. I'm not exactly sure why. I think it's just so they can base the interest in it.
Mm-hmm. You can cast a wider net.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, gosh. I'm trying to, let's look at some of these.
That looks cool.
Those are.
Can you share with the group?
I am. So, Rubicon Models has, why is goofy stuff coming up? There you
There
can.
we go.
Tuffy.
All right. So Rubicon Models is doing their NAMM stuff. And so they've got some guys here. I don't know if they're supposed to be Mac V or what they're supposed to be. But they look really good. They've been showing off a lot of NAMM models. So if you're looking for Bill is a diver, isn't he? So shouldn't be a problem playing underwater. That is 100% true. I won't tell you what they used to call me because it's kind of self-absorbing, My nickname. What was my nickname when I was in the scuba business? Does anybody remember?
I do.
What was
that's
it?
Probably he's Dive God.
Thank you.
Self-appointed, of course.
No, I did not come up with that name. That came from a couple students that I taught, and we went to the Bahamas. Because I went on the barge like 2 dives back. The barge is a wreck that sits at 90 feet in the Bahamas in the Gulf Stream.
Oh, here we go.
And the current rips. So I got to do it twice, right at back to back. You really is only supposed to dive it once, and then because of the depths and time and energy, blah blah blah. But and I was able to drag the people down there because they were having trouble with the current, and so they called me whatever after that. So
I like that building.
It is. That's Larissa First building. So
very nice.
Yeah, and so there's all kinds. I mean, you have a new card set coming out for Magic that's Western based.
Mm-hmm.
I want to like Magic. I really, really want to like Magic because Dawn likes it, and I really want to have something.
Dawn doesn't like it.
No, she loves
it. She loves it.
It's true.
But
can you share the chats?
No.
Oh, come on.
Yes. There we go.
All right. Ding. Don't use acrylic paints on your minis if you're going to play underwater. Actually, I really need to try this the oil-based stuff for lining.
Weathering.
Well, that too, but for pin stripe, for panels. But I'm gonna try
Panel
Noosh.
lining.
Yeah, I'm gonna try Noosh, which is by Monument Hobbies. It's their kind of all-in-one weathering, wash that you can add any of the colors to make it its own pigment color.
It's their non-oil.
Basically, but it's like the base, and then you add colors to it. Somebody tried to use it for pin washing or panel lining. And
is Noosh the one that you wipe away though?
You can, yeah. It acts like that. But they said it didn't have the capillary effect that oils do, right? Because you can drop oil into a line and it will fill it. Yeah. I think I've come up with a possible solution to that for Noosh. What is a capillary effect? A capillary effect is the breaking of surface tension, right? So if you remember back from here we go. Segue into scuba diving. In scuba diving, what do we put on our masks to prevent fogging?
Spit.
An anti-fog, right? Why do we put an anti-fog?
Spit.
But why do we do it?
To break surface tension.
Break surface tension. So if I mix in a little chemical that we used in anti-fog into the Noosh, will that make the capillary reef? So I'm going to have to try that.
Spit?
We'll see.
That's
scientific.
Spit is not effective as an anti-fogging.
It's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing.
That is true.
But it is not that effective. Beetle says surfactants can break surface tension. You are right, sir. Or ma'am. Person. Yeah. Beetle. So that is 100% correct. So it'll be interesting to see. I failed immensely at Adepticon this year. I did pretty good. I didn't buy a lot. I really didn't. I bought the 2 starter sets.
He says that, but he said he wasn't going to buy anything.
I did,
and we left with a big handful of stuff that
not
wasn't
a big handful.
You got all of those.
I got Undaunted. I got all 3 sets: Battle of Britain, North Africa, and Normandy.
Got a Relic Blade starter set,
which you wanted anyways.
What was that thing? That 90-pound box that I was carrying around for you for a while.
Oh, Witchborn. Yes, that is pretty cool. So we
didn't buy that.
We didn't buy that.
That was we are going to be doing some Witchborn coverage because it is actually a very interesting game, and it deserves some good attention. If you're into,
it is basically a role playing type game that plays out on very specific maps, and you do use miniatures with it. Really interesting game, and he was nice enough. Corey was nice enough to give us review copies of the base game and the first expansion because he transitioned over. If you've ever looked at any previous Adepticon coverage, Witchborn always had these beautiful vinyl maps, very large. I don't even know what size they were, but like bigger than your usual maps that you see with things. But they always were so striking on the tables. Like they stopped, you got attention with just going, that looks really interesting. What is that? And the expense for those vinyl maps was very cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
So he found a company he was able to work with to convert over into cardboard, double-sided, kind of more like a board game-ish type game mats for it. Which massively reduced the overhead for that. And so they now have converted the game system over to these new style of maps. And he was good enough to give us those to check out.
So watch for that content soon.
Are the nice vinyl ones still available?
I don't think so, unless he has old stock.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Too bad, because it'd be nice, hey, here's. But some games
we
get into.
You can get vinyl mats printed.
It's true.
Then they will print anything. So Matt by Mars.
Yep.
So we interviewed them. If you have not seen that one, go check our Adepticon coverage, and you'll see a Matt by Mars and several great manufacturers. We barely scratched the surface of interviews at Adepticon. We had a lot of stuff. See, Beetle, simpatico. So, you know, we learned some hard lessons this year. I want to say we're kind of old hands, if you will, pros at covering Adepticon and other conventions. We've done it for many years prior to the pandemic,
On
and
many
this was
continents.
on many continents. We learned some lessons this year. We had our own booth, and I hope you guys all saw it. It was great. It brought everybody's attention. We get a lot of comments on it.
Good.
But where we were, and we really appreciate Mike Rafferty's.
Immensely.
Awesome.
However, for us to cover the main events plus historical events, we would have been better served in the main building.
You can't be everywhere at the same time.
Right.
And because Adepticon has gotten so large and it has to be parsed out at this point, the inconvenience factor for running back and forth, like it's just not that feasible. You have to be very strategic about managing your time to get back and forth, to do anything and be efficient with your use of time.
Even though they did offer a shuttle bus between the two locations, because they were literally across an interstate, it was faster for us and time effective to just get an Uber.
Yeah.
And
like when we had the moment, we were like, okay, we can go now. It just was easier to do that.
And yes, Adepticon. Well, it's funny you say that.
Yep.
They are talking about that. We still are included in the board staff Adepticon meetings because we worked with them so closely previously. We're still in that group, and not to give anything away, but that is a discussion point that I know a lot of people have brought up, and they were going to discuss
to come on that.
Yeah,
because they had a 3,000 person jump in attendance. Last year was 5,000, and this year was 8.
20% gain.
Yeah.
Yep. And they said they literally have filled up.
No.
Louisville for us,
Agreed.
it's 3 hours away from us now. However, I mean, if you look at a central location, easy to get to, Chicagoland is pretty easy to get to. It's just finding a larger venue without going into the city itself. Because if you get into the city, you're talking like McCormick Place or something like that, and it's just hugely expensive.
Everything will become more expensive for everyone because just having the show there will be more expensive for them, and then that cost will trickle over to everyone's gaming experience.
That, and since we do like play war games, you get to play war games just to get your ass there and back.
No, it ain't that bad. You're
good
giving
food, though.
A bad rap.
Good food though. Rick Benny's not that far.
No, Rick Benny's is okay. You know what we didn't get to go and do? We were just so tired. We never got to Gene and Giorgetti's.
No, we should.
And they have, I don't know if it's still open, but there was one in Rosemont, which isn't too far from Schaumburg. So, but somebody brought up the Rosemont Convention Center. I don't know if it's any bigger than Schaumburg.
I said that. In my head,
I think it is.
Is it?
Or would this be fair? Are we going to be dealing with like basically the same size venue if you combined the Schaumburg Convention Center and the Hyatt in terms of like, could they have all the things back under one roof?
Yeah.
If they moved to that,
would
possible. That be helpful? I mean, it would be helpful for us for sure from a growth perspective.
Chris, what are you playing?
40K. Can't you read that?
Yeah.
What faction, you dumbass?
Agreed.
I still got to get my Tau. I like the Tau. And now the Croots are back.
Yep.
Croots Tau.
I'm playing Age of Sigmar at 1.
Are you?
Nice.
What are we doing? Oh, we got to make t-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, we are going to give away something. We're going to give away a prize to a lucky person who comments on this. We are going to give away this.
Did you guys identify and send out?
Yes, we did. We reached out to the contestant winner for Clash of Steel. I don't think we've heard back, but we're going to give away a customized Adepticon 2024 mug.
Yay!
We'll pick a winner, and we will be happy to put your name on it, just like that. So
cool stuff.
We will give away one of those to a lucky viewer. So.
But they have to be a nice viewer, Toughy Ears.
Toughy Ears has actually won prizes from us before.
Yep.
So, we'll probably
Toughy is a nice viewer. She just gives Marty crap, and that's okay because we're on board.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
you know what? So do we. So tough years, keep it up.
And then we'll probably throw in a cup or two of our plastic SITREP cups too.
Yep.
No, they're great for. You can use them for, if you're a kegger. Do they still do keggers?
Nowadays, who knows?
Or you can use it as a paint cup. Oh, see, Tavir's got t-shirt. Oh, we'll have new t-shirts coming out soon too, guys.
Yep.
So we're doing everything in house now.
Yep.
So
it's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah.
I guess that's a hobby that we've been working.
Yeah. So. We're setting up our print shop in our garage. So we'll be making tumblers, mugs, coffee mugs, t-shirts, whatever. Anything we can put graphic on, we're gonna put it on there. Says, I'll also be happy to jump into a Clash of Steel prize if unclaimed. Apparently, I posted to the wrong video the first time around. Well, if we don't hear back, we might have to draw.
I think you should put a time cap on it, like announce it here.
I will say 1 week from the time I reached out to them.
Okay, there you go. You heard it here, guys.
When did you reach out?
It was when we did the Pirates, so it was a week ago.
A week, yeah.
So by Sunday night.
Yep.
So if we don't hear by Sunday night, we will pick a new name on Monday.
There you go.
So
cool.
All right, let's transition.
Yeah.
Into our topic.
Yes, gaming go-tos.
Gaming go-tos. So Dawn, explain gaming go-tos, please.
So I thought this would be kind of fun because it kind of gives us the ability to. I didn't want to do just like what's your favorite game, right? But this kind of allows you to tap into that vein, but we're going to frame it differently. So I thought it would be interesting to hear from each one of us, like what our gaming go-tos are based on certain circumstances.
Okay.
So
you got categories?
Yes. I thought your gaming go-to when you have only a little.
Let's do one category at a time.
Okay.
Roundabout.
Only a little bit of time. So time is an issue. What is your gaming go-to? Bill.
Me.
Yeah.
If I don't have a lot of time and I want to, now is that any format? Board game, tabletop?
I ended up kind of putting like a little bit of both.
So let's just say tabletop games, right?
Oh, sure. You eliminated a lot of my stuff, but that's
what? Okay. Why? What's yours?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Well, miniatures.
Miniatures. No, anything you play on a table.
Gotcha. You're talking not video games,
right? Not video games.
Gotcha.
Because video games in and of itself it can approach all age, right? True. If I'm looking for something to play quickly, without a lot of setup. Tabletop wise, that's a good one.
Somebody didn't do their homework.
No, I mean it should be what you shouldn't have to think about it too much because then you're just going to pick what's the best versus what you really would do.
And thinking too much is working without tools for Bill.
Honestly, if I don't have a lot of time, I can't believe I'm going to say this. I was going to say Onus.
Well, that was going to be what I thought you would say.
But that can take a while. I mean, there's no real setup because all the miniatures are card-based. It's a plain card with your miniatures on it and stats.
Mm-hmm.
Magic. Because you'll kill me and I'm done and I can go do what I want to do now. So.
Yeah, but you don't like to play that.
I'm trying.
You're very trying.
How about you, Chris?
I would have to say if I was over at Critical Grind and I needed to play something tabletop, I mean they've got a lot of board games and stuff. We played that one, what is it, DHSK or whatever. It was that trivia game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I liked that game. That was
fun. But something that reaches into the miniatures, I would say Zombicide.
But that's not quick.
Oh, I was going to say I wouldn't put that in the quick.
Unless
it's quicker than, now it's all comparative too, right? Because if I'm normally playing, Age of Sigmar, Zombicide is quick.
He's apparently better at Zombicide than we were.
Obviously.
Well, no, I'm not better at it. Well, especially it's quick if you die quick.
Right.
That's also true, which can happen in that game.
Hey, why don't you guys go over this way and we'll go over that way?
Or
we died.
our grandson, and you'll be done in 3
That's
turns.
a quick game because he just yells,
Leroy Jenkins.
Yes. That's the end of that.
Magic is a quick game with him as well.
Yeah, Joe, you might not want to open the main boss door right now.
Gosh.
What are you doing, Joe? I'm opening the door.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Magic is also quick if you play against Joe.
Yeah.
At least for me.
That's true.
How
so
can
for me,
I die while I'm still picking cards?
so for me, I didn't put magic. Actually, I didn't even put magic in most of these.
What?
For the record. But so if there's only a little bit of time, I love Carcassonne. Or Carcassonne, depending on who you talk to.
You consider that a limited time game?
Yeah, it's a quick game.
Yeah,
it's a quick game. It's very quick.
Yeah.
It's very quick to teach people, and I think it's really fun. And if you've never played it, it's basically, I describe it like playing dominoes but with pictures.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tile placement game, and so it's got a little resource management, and it's very. You can make it as complicated or as simple as you want to play. What's that?
Games of Thrones.
Game, yeah.
Hey,
so,
and I have a alibi on this one. It's a game that's quick to play. I do own it. However, Marty has all the figures because he's painting it. And that's In Country by Enemy Spotted Studios. That's a 20-minute game. It's real quick, but it didn't come to mind because I don't physically have access to it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, as a sidebar, like in the miniature vein, I did put Malifaux on there because it can be a quick game. Now, granted, it wouldn't be for us at this point because it's been a while since we played it. So there's going to be a little bit of a relearn curve involved. But, again, just like you were saying with In Country, Chris, it's a skirmish game. So if you start your playing area a little smaller,
like a 2x2.
you can get into the killy stuff quicker. Yeah. And so that way, we can do a little bit of either. So let's flip gears and go. What's your gaming go to when you have
now? You guys out?
Excuse me for a minute. Yeah.
You guys in the out there and comment. Tell us what your go to games. Be part of the conversation.
Absolutely.
Well, Rusted Beetle did.
Yep. Carcassonne is a great low stress game. It's a very low stress game.
Let's play the
first one. My fish. That's my fish.
I've never played that.
That's a fun game. I love That's My Fish.
I've never heard of it.
I played that one with Az.
Oh, Az. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I have to ask.
His name is Az Drummond. He is the social director now for which company?
I don't remember.
Out of Poland. One of the game companies. He used to be on Beast of War. Then he went to several
he was with
gaming
Lucky
companies.
Duck for a while, and But
I think it's the Lucky Duck he's with. No,
I don't think so.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. So, what's your next one?
So now we're going to flip gears and say, what's your gaming go-to when time is not a problem? So as much time as you need for the game.
Oh, boy. That's a good one.
So now you can get crunchy. You can get in the weeds. You guys want me to start?
Yeah, please.
I see the wheels turning. Yeah. So for me, I've got Star Trek Ascendancy. Because again, it's a board game, but takes up a huge amount of space, and it is not quick. Space. You see what I did there? Mm-hmm. It's at least a 3-hour game. Mm-hmm. And then if you want to play with any of the expansions, it's probably longer than that. But I really enjoy that one.
Yeah. If time is not an issue.
Really?
Honestly,
you're not going to go for Zulus?
I was just going to say that. Rourke's Drift, man.
Seriously.
Rourke's Drift.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it took us, 2 days to play that, Chris?
Yep.
But it wasn't like we played. We played, we stopped, we played,
Yep.
A
lot of good comments here.
Yeah.
And I have to agree with most of them because my go-to for that, and it's really who's putting together a game.
Mm-hmm.
If I get an invite, hey, we're playing Age of Sigmar at 1. You want to? Hell yeah. Or D&D.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
Yeah. Chris and Marty playing Sigmar. I guess we have to.
I know. I'm excited because I got that Sylvaneth box.
Yeah. So
at Adepticon. So I am not opposed to giving that a shot. And like I said, as much as I'm anti-painting, and I'm going to really try to not be, since Chris had to go throw me under the bus, and now he's painting, and now I'm the only jerk that's not painting anything.
Hey, I'm trying to get my my money back from the painting classes that I signed up
Yeah.
for.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
Infinity Code 1, I think that's the quick entry into Infinity. Infinity's a great game. If you guys have never played it, extremely tactical game. It's a great game.
We've never played Code 1 though.
No, not. I've only played the original rules.
That's
Or
pretty cool.
was it third edition, second edition, whatever? I think it was 2, but I mean, so
Somebody better say campaign for North Africa.
right.
Yep.
Now there's
the Pacific. If you got all the time in the world, Twilight Imperium or War in the Pacific. War in the Pacific is the game that costs like $400 or $500, and the maps are there's like 22 maps, and it covers all. And literally, you can play it for months.
Yeah,
months.
Yep.
I want that game.
Surprised you don't have it.
I keep looking at going.
Do I? Yeah. Do I need that? Do I?
Yeah. So.
All right. Next topic. Solo.
Solo game.
Solo.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to break my own rule.
Yeah, I know where you're going to go with this, and that's okay because I have got
it's
a video game on here too.
PC based.
Yeah.
I have played Undaunted on the PC. I have played Heroes of Normandy on the PC. I have. Oh, you know what? I haven't heard back from Paulo. Did you give him my email address?
I did, but
Squirrel.
I have my SITREP email.
Okay.
I probably need to look at that.
Well, Paulo from Slytherin Games was going to work with me on some gaming because they have great war games. Darkest Dungeon video game. I don't think I've played that. Oh, you know what? Do you have a game for groups on here?
No.
Go-to game for groups?
No.
I have one for that, so don't let me forget that.
Okay.
So any of those games, because you don't need an opponent. Obviously, it's AI generated. So if you want to go to the fantasy side, any of the Total War series, Warhammer, Total War series are really good. So that's what I have. What about you?
So I've actually got 3 things here. And it's funny. So this is where Magic made the thing. So because I love playing in arena. And so, it's sort of semi-cheating because when you say playing solo, it just means I don't have a physical opponent in the room to play tangible Magic with. But in arena, you can get a game with anybody anytime.
Right.
So that is my without fail go-to. I play that daily pretty much. But then I mentioned earlier that I've been playing Pandemic solo because I really do enjoy that. And then if you want to go miniatures, I like Walking Dead All Out War because that you can absolutely play solo because you're going to play a couple of characters and it's you playing against the zombies. And that the AI zombie mechanic in that game is pretty slick and it really escalates quickly. It's a very fun game. And it doesn't take a tremendous amount of time either because it can go bad real quick.
Yep. Make a little noise, people. Make a little noise. See what happens.
How about you, Chris?
It's I don't know. It depends on the mood. It's like listening to music. Sometimes it's time for Disturbed. Sometimes it's time for blues. If I'm playing a video game, I haven't played much recently, but Diablo 4. I am looking forward to Homeworld 3 finally dropping whenever that happens. Even if it's a long game, there's a game that I've been wanting to play.
Tuffy.
Tuffy. I thought you and I were friends. You and I were friends. I see how it is.
There's TMI brought to you by us and Tuffy ears. Yeah.
There's a game that I've heard about and I have not played it. I know you guys have tried it at Gen Con and you weren't a fan, but it's Kingdom Death.
Oh my God.
Yeah, see,
the game itself is okay. The minis are atrocious. I'm gonna just that dude. I mean, he's a really nice guy. We've met him. We've talked to him.
I mean, they're interesting sculpts. They're beautiful sculpts.
Oh, interesting is not the word I would use.
Disturbing. They are disturbing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
dude,
I mean, it's R-rated.
sculpting those.
They are gorgeous.
There is one that has literally a skirt of dicks.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
Yeah. However, from what I hear, the gameplay, you can, it's a long running game. You can play it solo. You can play it with a group.
Yeah.
You can keep track of what it is. I haven't played it. So, when I think of solo games, that's one.
I don't know that would be very fun solo.
Well, it's you against a monster. You're basically boss fighting.
I know, but because it's designed to be a campaign type thing.
And
it's a boutique game, Chris.
And I've heard that from a number of people, but I've heard from a bunch of people that it's been that it's a good game to play. It's a fun game to play. And I'm not going to straight up drop the $400.
Yeah.
One, I'd like to play it first.
Yeah.
And try to find someone who has it.
Yeah.
So
you need to go to Gen Con and do a demo.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably the easiest way to do it if you don't know somebody that has a copy of it to play. But sorry, Bill got a call from work, so he's
I figured. I saw the look on his face.
Yeah.
But other than that, play different games on my phone.
Yeah. Tuffy, have I looked at Star Trek Away Missions? I've not looked at it much. I am aware of it. I probably should. Like it definitely looks like a really fun game. I don't know why. You know what? Again, add that to the list of places we didn't get to spend time with at Adepticon because that's Modiphius was there. Probably need to take a closer look at that. Have you played it?
I have not.
Yeah.
I know Bill bought the Star Trek something RPG game.
The RPG, which we haven't had the ability to do anything with that either. But
you've had the ability. Well, it's just other squirrels have got your attention first.
Correct. That is true.
But that looks like one that if he can do a virtual, I'd be interested in playing.
I got you. I forgot they have one there too. I'm sorry, Tuffy said it's Gale Force 9. I did see that. And actually, and you know what? Now that I'm also thinking, see Gale Force 9 Squirrel, I meant to pick up Enola Holmes when we were at Adepticon. That was like the one thing I thought I was going to try to purchase. And I straight up forgot to go look for it. So, well.
I didn't see it. I know Enola Holmes 3 is coming out.
Yeah. I can order it online, but like that definitely looks like it'd be a fun game too. Let's add another category here. I thought, what about gaming go-to with newbies? Like if you've got a friend or a couple of friends who are not gaming people that you wanted to kind of try to bring into it, like what would be your suggested jump off point for that?
For that, I would say In Country, Enemy Spotted Studios again, because it is dead simple. I mean, Marty can play it, so I mean that tells you a lot. It's not crunchy, and that's why Marty likes it. But it's fun, and it's quick. That's the thing. You play it, and you're like, oh, I want to do it again.
Plus, potentially, that'd be like a safe way to, if you wanted to try to approach hobby with those people, if they haven't done that either, because there's two sides of this. You could be dealing with people who have literally just never played games like that before. But then there's the other piece where there could be people that, like me before coming into any of this aspect of gaming world, like I played board games and card games. I really didn't know about miniature hobby with games. And so if you can get people's attention and they like that, then the next step would be how do you get them over kind of into the hobby side? And with In Country, super small model count.
Yep.
So if they like it, odds are they like the military genre and stuff anyway, so going that direction for hobby would probably be a good quick win too.
And Zombicide kind of introduces you to the minis.
That's true.
But you don't have to think about actually painting them.
Yeah. I like your comments here. So Beetle, yes, Ticket to Ride and Small World. I have yet to play Small World. It is on my radar. I haven't tried it. I am obsessed with Ticket to Ride, and I completely agree. And that was actually one of the games I had listed for my gaming for newbies because it is simple. It's color and set collection really is all you're trying to do with Ticket to Ride, and it gets people into the. Again, you can make that as simple or strategic and complicated as you would like. Because I say when we first started playing games with our grandson, this was one of the first board games that we played with him. And, which just goes to show at any age level, like even if you aren't playing it exactly the way the game is intended in terms of completing routes and being strategic with that, like he absolutely understood, well, I need 5 reds to put a train there. I collect 5 red cards. I play my stuff there. So like it really was a good jump off place.
Yep.
There's I see Dead Zone on there, and it's funny because Bill mentioned this the other day. I know we played it back in the day, and he really liked it, and our son Ben really liked it. I just don't know that I ever really played it, but that's a really slick, easy to learn game mechanic also. And so if you like sci-fi looking things at all, that's so we've got your aspect where it's kind of real military in feel, and then so other end of the spectrum, but simple and small space sci-fi. So that's pretty slick.
Yep. One that looks good that I was contemplating picking up was it Gunslingers Royale?
Oh yes, yep, yeah.
So
Gunfighter
the Royale or Gunfighter Royale.
Yep.
And that helps you transition into the full.
Yep. We looked at that too, and it was funny because I think like we legit were trying to get back into the gaming hall because Bill was going to buy a copy of it, and we, as Adepticon does, you get stopped in the hallway and you talk to people along your way getting somewhere, and so we literally got to the door when they shut it on the night before we were leaving, so we were not able to get in and pick up a copy of that, but. Yep. And then, looking in the comments here. So someone in my town, I would say Age of Sigmar or 40K because there's 2 stores that carry it. That's a really good point also.
Yep.
Ease to obtain is going to be a big setting yourself up for success or failure, right? Because what's the point of getting somebody into a game that, you love and you're passionate about, but everything that they want, to your point, Chris, is you can't buy it anywhere. So you're fortunate enough to live by some place that has the things that you need. That's a really good jump off too. And then Beetle, Halo, 100%. On my radar, and it's funny because they got me on this one when I got to play it at Adepticon. I'm hooked, and prior to watching the Halo series that's out recently, I knew nothing about Halo outside of I know our kids played the video game back in the day. I knew who Master Chief was, and that's about the extent of my Halo knowledge. And so the fact that that game was so fun, so quick, so killy. I liked the mechanics in it, and it wasn't even an IP that I was like super passionate about. Like that game feels like a win. I cannot wait. I will be back in that Kickstarter.
I didn't have time to get over there and play it.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, I mean, so you can paint the minis and all that.
Yep. Yeah, it is a miniatures game, and it basically it uses the Dead Zone game mechanics to a point. And there's a Fallout TV series coming out soon too. Interesting. And see, that'll be interesting, Tuffy, because when I said earlier about Magic IP, they had a Fallout universes within set that came out recently, and that was one of them I chose to not buy because I've not played Fallout, just wasn't really of interest to me. And to be fair, I've watched some things and gameplay with it, and I did appreciate some of the mechanics that they built into it that are obviously unique to Fallout, and they transitioned really well into the game. But because I just don't know it, I didn't really have a vested interest in it. But if I start watching a show, it'll be real interesting to see if that feeling changes for me.
Now, I had Fallout 4 for my VR. That was just weird.
Yeah. I love Traders Galaxy Bot War mini games. Oh, I'm not familiar with that one at all.
Nope.
We'll have to look that one up.
And going to channel Marty for you. What's the one that he plays by himself a lot? He likes.
I thought it was In Country was the only one I can really remember.
No, there's one that came out like it was planned with COVID. The guy dropped it on January and it came out COVID.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember.
And people who watch the show, Marty mentions it a lot. So, what are going back to Gunfighters Royale? What do you call those minis when they're kind of cartoonish?
They're chibis.
Chibis. Okay.
Yeah, where they they're kind of like they remind me of a caricature in a miniature, right?
Yeah.
Because like the body is one size and the head is exponentially larger, but can do the exaggerated features. Oh, Battle Space. That's the one.
Thank you.
See, so people pay attention. It's going to be like right now it's coming. Okay, Tuffy, I will have to check it out. I promise I will give it a go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Other things I had on my list for newbies. Again, I brought back my Walking Dead All-Out War game because, and again, to your point, Chris, it's knowing your audience, right? Because if you don't care about Walking Dead at all, that might not be interesting to somebody. And I would use that as my platform to determine whether it's worth it with somebody or not. If you've got a friend that also likes to watch The Walking Dead, that's a great jump off point because it's, again, relatively easy to play. You can kind of make it as easy or complicated as you want, but scales up really nicely.
Yep.
And then I also had on there, and that's funny because this kind of tips more of because it's my favorite, but I have The Godfather on there as a board game. And again, whether you are passionate about the Godfather movies or not, everybody knows what gangsters are, right? And so that to me is a really fun board game. It has really cool game mechanics in it. That's one of my favorite ones to play.
Let's get to the chat. Bot War is a 10mm game with factions similar to Transformers G.I. Joe. Okay.
Oh,
nice. That's cool. And then Tough Years put the trailer for Fallout in the Discord on Other Realms. Cool.
We will check it out.
Yeah.
We will check it
now,
out.
As you were saying, speaking of the audience, so last month I was game master over at Flight for Critical Grind, and had some friends show up. Steve Malikis and his wife Trish and Alex showed up, and so something that was easy, quick to play. I pulled out that DS whatever K trivia. We really need to know the name of that thing, but it's a trivia game, and it's a little board game, and you don't really have to know how to play it. Was
so much fun. We played that with Chris and Marty and his wife Donna when they were here to visit, and laughed a lot. I mean, and it's just unlocked all the memories.
Yeah. And I mean, because if we had said, let's play a minis game, Donna would be like, I'll be outside.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Again, read the room. Know your audience. Read the room. For sure. Sure. Okay, let's try one other topic here. and we're going to call it your future go-to. Like, is there a game you want to play? And it can be something, whether you want to play something more or something that you've never gotten to play before, but it's on your radar to check out. Something you want to be able to carve more time out for. And it's funny because Bill stole my thunder because he mentioned it earlier. For me, and I know I mentioned this on one of our shows previously, I want to try Twilight Imperium. That looked so badass on the table to me, that it's like on my list of things to check out. But from what I hear from everybody, that you have to have a immense amount of time on your hands and plenty of space for that game to shake out. But that is definitely one of the things. And then something I would just like to be able to play more is Lord of the Rings. And I know Bill and I talk about this all the time. And
the
like,
Middle Earth strategy.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So some that I'm looking forward to. You guys keep talking about Halo, so I want to try that. Yeah, there's a number of games that I've purchased that I haven't played yet. Oak and Iron is one of them. I just bought Saga, and I got the books in the mail, so got some Vikings to do. I mentioned earlier I want to play, at least try, Kingdom Death Monster. It's whoever you can play with. It's more of, if someone shows up and says, "Hey, I want to play Risk," cool. I'll play.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I would like Bill to learn about the Star Wars RPG game so we could play it virtually.
The Star Wars one?
Oh no, I'm sorry, the Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Legion Imperialis. Yep, for sure. And Bill will agree with you on that one because he's got all the goodies now. So.
Yep. And I'm still learning Age of Sigmar, and I'm going to be relearning it again this summer. But I'm, I don't have the rules down yet.
Yeah.
And so once I have that, then that'll be. I'd like to carve out more time for that. And I have to carve out more time because I have 3,000 points to paint.
Yep. Get cracking on that. Awesome. Well, This has been great conversation, guys, and I'm loving everything in the chat. This is why I like these conversations, because chat will give us stuff that I've never heard of before or whatever, and now I'm going to look stuff up.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Well, give Bill a quick chance to answer the categories.
Chris, unfortunately, we're going to have to wrap it up. I've got something that's come up. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
So thank you, everybody, for joining us today on the podcast. We appreciate all the comments coming in.
Yeah.
Hopefully next show will be tech
on
free.
Time and Nargle free.
Yeah. So keep the comments going. Check out our Discord channels. Look forward to video tomorrow and other content coming soon. And like I said, we will pick a winner for the Adepticon mug as well.
Yep. And if we don't hear from the previously announced winner for the Clash of Steel set, we will choose another one.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
Can you announce the name here again?
Of course, you're going to do that. And it was Nick something, right?
Hold on. I can tell you. It was.
Because if anybody's listening and knows Nick something, then reach out to him.
Am I hallucinating? I swear it was Nick.
Hold on. I don't know why it's all of a sudden
Nargles, that's why.
Something like that.
I
messaged him directly from I don't know why it's not showing up in Messenger. Give me a second. Let me pull up YouTube Studio, y'all. And
the world's going to hell. New York had an earthquake.
Right?
Yeah.
Hopefully, it could shake some sense into him.
Merida, relax, honey.
It was.
So, Dawn, do you have anything interesting and fun coming up in a couple of weeks?
I do. We're going to Disney for my big birthday trip, the bougie birthday trip. So it's going to be so fun.
Rich
I
Cat,
cannot wait.
1973. That was who it was. Rich Cat, 1973.
Yep,
There you
and
go.
that's what Rusted Beatles just put it.
Yep. Thank you.
Hey, see?
I'm glad somebody paying attention.
Do we have a name on the guy?
Rich Cat, 1973.
Is a YouTube person, Chris. So
Okay.
we don't. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for hanging with us. It's
Yep,
been fun.
All right. Thank you
We
very
will
much.
see you guys on the
All right.
next one.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.
You have been listening to the SITREP podcast. We hope you have enjoyed the show. Make sure you like and subscribe to all of our channels on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Discord. Remember to join us every other weekend for a new episode of the podcast, and don't forget our other programming on Wednesdays and Sundays. Thanks for listening.